trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
All right, now at noon, we begin with breaking news. The search is on for a missing boater in Fairhaven. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Doreen Scanlon. At least 6 search and rescue crews are in the water right now looking for that boater. ABC6 News reporter Olivia DeRocha is live at the scene in Fairhaven with more on this. Olivia?
Doreen, like you said, that search is on right now, and you can see behind me, it's a pretty unsettling sight to see this boat abandoned right here in Fairhaven on West Island Town Beach. Now, if you can see, there are officials surrounding that boat, making sure no one is touching, and that really just shows how new and active this investigation is. Now, a few minutes ago, officials on scene were talking about towing that boat up to the parking lot, trying to figure out how to get that heavy machinery down here on the beach. Now, this is about as much as we know, which was released on Facebook by Fairhaven Police a little over an hour ago. If you look on your screen, you'll say police saying this man appears to be the missing boater that they are looking for. Now, it's not clear if this was his boat or if he was alone or even what time this boat was washed ashore. But I can tell you when we got here, crews were trying to figure out what the wind direction was last night. Now, like Doreen said, in the water right now, there's at least 6 search and rescue boating crews in the water searching for that missing boater. Now, right now, as you can maybe hear or even see, the wind is moderate, but driving in to this beach, the fog was really dense, but you might be able to see that luckily has cleared behind me. Now, low tide today is set for 1 p.m. Now, of course, that will really help aiding in this investigation. High tide is set for 8 o'clock, and police tell me on scene they will be here until they are needed. For now, we're live in Fairhaven. I'm Olivia DeRocha, ABC6 News.
All right, Olivia, thank you. Now to the weather as we take a live look over Providence this afternoon with our sky cam. Looking at this, it's hard to believe what it looked like just a few hours ago with those downpours, the thunder and the lightning too. Chelsea is in the Weather Center with more. Hi, Chelsea.
Hey, Doreen. Yeah, we had a very active early morning beginning at about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, lasting until maybe 7 or 8 o'clock as that storm system gradually pushed to the east with heavy rain, frequent thunder and lightning. Many of us waking up extra early this morning. That being said, we cleared out really quickly. There's still some lingering puddles outside. Humidity is really high, and those temperatures have made it into the low 80s, so it's feeling kind of warm out there with a breeze coming in from the west. Many of us are in the upper 70s and low 80s range, with the exception down in Westerly, out over Block Island, out over the Cape, low to mid 70s. Overall, a warm and muggy day at the moment. We are seeing perfect sunshine, just some clouds passing through at times as we head through the remainder of the afternoon. But this is a loop over the past 6 hours. And you can see at 6 or 7 o'clock, most of that rain and thunderstorm activity was already pushing out towards the Cape. And now that is way off to our west, and we are seeing bright conditions into the afternoon. Again, some passing clouds at times. Temps today topping out in the mid 80s, feeling even warmer because of the high humidity levels. We will see temperatures gradually dropping along with the humidity levels as we head through this evening. I'll let you know what the rest of the week looks like coming up in just a few minutes. Story.
All right, Chelsea, thank you. And last night's storm causing severe flooding and damage in parts of the state. In North Kingstown, a lightning strike causing a home there to catch on fire. ABC6 News reporter Yanni Trigelis has more.
An early morning storm resulting in damage all across the area here in North Kingstown. Lightning striking a tree, resulting in this home here behind me catching on fire, and then the roof of the home collapsing.
The lightning had struck a tree and followed into the house, and that's where it apparently started. 3
firefighters were injured. One of them treated on scene for injuries after the ceiling collapsed on him, later returning to continue fighting the fire. Another taken to a nearby hospital due to heat exhaustion, and a third was taken to South County Hospital with a serious back injury due to overhauling on the back of the home.
The back injury seemed like it was pretty significant in terms of pain and injury, so we're waiting to hear from the hospital.
When firefighters arrived on scene, Cattell says heavy smoke was showing from the roof, making it difficult for firefighters to get inside to secure it prior to the roof collapsing. The early morning storm causing damage in other parts of southern New England. In Barrington, fire officials say a home went up in flames, also due to a lightning strike. The homeowners are now displaced for at least a few days. Also in Barrington, lightning striking a clock tower at the St. Andrews School, damaging the tower's wooden frame. And flooding across the area, including along the Wampanoag Trail, impacting commutes for drivers Monday morning. None of the residents that live in the homes were hurt in the fires. Here in North Kingstown, fire officials say that there is water damage to the first floor of the home in addition to the roof collapsing. There is no word at this time on if the home will be a total loss or not. And Cattell also says that there is no update on the condition of the 3 firefighters that were injured at this time. Reporting in North Kingstown, Yanni Trigelis, ABC6 News.
All right, Yanni, thank you. And now an ABC6 update. A 15-year-old boy is in critical condition, taken to the hospital yesterday after he was pulled from the water at Lincoln Woods State Park. Rhode Island DEM tells us that boy was swimming outside the designated boundaries after hours yesterday and was pulled by an off-duty lifeguard who then performed CPR. And now to the latest on gun reform in today's political news. A bipartisan group of senators reaching a deal on a package of measures that is limited in scope, but would still be the most significant federal legislation on the issue in nearly 30 years. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
For weeks, calls for gun control growing louder across the country after the massacres in Buffalo and Uvalde. And now a bipartisan group of senators has reached an agreement on what could be some of the most significant gun reform in more than a generation.
There's still a lot of work to do. There's still a long way to go, but I'm really encouraged by today's announcement.
The plan, drafted by 10 Democrats and 10 Republicans, would strengthen background checks, allowing juvenile records to be screened for gun buyers younger than 21, expand gun restrictions for convicted domestic violence abusers, allocate funding for states enacting red flag laws to temporarily remove guns from those considered dangerous, and bolster school security and mental health programs.
I will put this bill on the floor ASAP, as soon as possible, so that Congress can quickly act to do something meaningful against gun violence.
President Biden had called for stricter laws, including banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines altogether, and if not, raising the age to buy them from 18 to 21. The president saying obviously it does not do everything that I think is needed, but it reflects important steps in the right direction. After striking a deal, Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn speaking out, saying the tragedies in Uvalde and elsewhere cried out for action. David Hogg, who survived the Parkland mass shooting, says this step gives him hope.
It makes me want to cry like tears of happiness. This is just a first step. It's not the last.
Now, this is a deal on principles. The legislative text still needs to be written, which means there's still a ways to go before these provisions potentially become law. And sources tell ABC the fine print will be critical to keep enough Republicans on board. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Now, Rhode Island Senate Committee will meet tonight to learn about staffing challenges at DCYF. The Senate Committee on Rules, Government, Ethics, and Oversight will hold the meeting at 5:30 and will also look into staffing shortages at the Department of Human Services. The public is invited to testify. And the latest in a series of investigative reports on alleged naked fat checks by a North Kingstown High School coach is expected at tonight's town council meeting. Retired Rhode Island Judge Susan McGurl conducted the investigation into the Aaron Thomas allegations, which he denies, for the town council. The judge reached out to families and community members looking for any information they had back in March. Tonight's meeting is at 7 o'clock at the NK Senior Center. A foster man accused of setting his own home on fire is said to be arraigned today. 62-year-old Lawrence Lopez is charged with first-degree arson and held without bail. That was during a court hearing on April 4th. He's been at the ACI since. Prosecutors said Lopez poured gas all over his home and used a propane torch to start that fire. The MBTA will start a new urine sensor pilot program this summer. Sensors that can detect the smell of urine will be installed in 4 elevators downtown. The goal is to have the sensors alert MBTA employees who can then send in a cleaning crew. The MBTA will collect data during a months-long pilot phase and then decide whether to make the program permanent by the end of 2022. And now to the Celtics in the NBA Finals. The C's back in action tonight, looking to take a 3-2 lead in the NBA Finals. The series shifts back to Golden State after the Warriors and Celtics split the last 2 games in Boston. The C's dropped Game 4 largely thanks to a historic performance by Steph Curry. He scored 43 points. The C's were also outscored 21-6 in the final 8 minutes. Game 5 tips off tonight, 9 o'clock, right here on ABC6. And still to come here on the news at noon, the advisory to stay out of the Blackstone River continues, now entering a 2nd week. Plus 2 new cases of monkeypox in Mass, what we know so far. Back now with news on your health. An advisory to avoid contact with the Blackstone River from Woonsocket to Pawtucket remains in effect following a wastewater discharge earlier this month. Fishing, canoeing, boating, and other river recreation is prohibited after a wastewater discharge from the Woonsocket wastewater treatment plant happened back on June 4th. The advisory was expected to last 2 to 3 days, but remains in effect more than a week after the incident. The DEM tells us they're unsure as to when the investigation will be completed and that advisory will be lifted. 2 new cases of monkeypox have been reported in Massachusetts. The Massachusetts Department of Health said 2 men who had close contact with one another both had positive test results Saturday night. Neither case can be traced back to the first Massachusetts case reported in May. The U.S. total of monkeypox cases now stands at 49. A new medical marijuana dispensary is opening in South Kingstown today. It's called Sweet Spot Dispensary, and a rep tells us it'll offer statewide home delivery to medical marijuana patients in the state. Sweet Spot was one of the winners of last year's lottery for a new compassion center. Remember, recreational marijuana still isn't legal in Rhode Island until December 1st. Well, just ahead, we'll have the latest from Washington as the January 6th committee holds a second set of televised hearings. That's coming up next. We're going to check back in with Chelsea, too, for another look at that 7-day forecast when we come back. Back now with more developing news from Washington. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot is holding its second televised public hearing today. But at the last minute, a witness had to pull out of testifying because of a family emergency. ABC's Jay O'Brien has more from Washington.
Without objection, the chair is authorized.
The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Now focusing on former President Donald Trump's repeated false claims of election fraud and his pressure campaign to overturn the vote count in several key swing states.
Stop the steal! Stop the steal!
Looking to directly tie Trump's lies the election was stolen from him to the deadly Capitol attack on January 6th.
He ignored the will of the voters. He lied to his supporters and the country. And he tried to remain in office after the people had voted him out.
They'll be calling a series of high-profile witnesses, including former Fox News political editor Chris Steyerwalt, who was fired by the conservative cable network after being the first to call the state of Arizona for Joe Biden, which gave him enough electoral college votes to win the election.
Mr. Steyerwalt, after the votes were counted, who won the presidential election of 2020?
Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. of the great state of Delaware.
But the start of today's hearing was delayed after Trump's former campaign manager, Bill Stepien, a key witness, canceled his appearance due to a family emergency. The committee playing excerpts of Stepien's previously taped testimony.
My recommendation was to say that votes were still being counted. It's too early to tell, too early to call the race.
After last week's hearing, Trump responding by doubling down on his debunked claims of election fraud, saying Congress should be investigating that instead. The House Select Committee isn't conducting a criminal investigation, but they are making it clear they are laying out this case not just for the American people, but for Attorney General Merrick Garland, who is the only federal official that could bring criminal charges against Trump or his allies if he believes they've committed crimes. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, the Capitol.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
Oh, we had a very active morning here in southern New England with torrential rain, thunder, lightning. Maybe many of you woke up to that thunder in the early morning hours. At this point, though, storm tracker radar is completely dry, and we are looking at much brighter conditions into the afternoon. Now, at TF Green Airport, we picked up 1.3 inches of rain, a soaking rain in a very short amount of time. You can see those jackpot totals impacting Providence down through Newport, through New Bedford, up in Taunton as well. We dealt with some street flooding and some ponding on the roadways in these locations. Probably still some puddles out there right now, even as we get into some sunshine, because it is quite muggy out there. That being said, we are getting into nice, bright conditions for the remainder of the day today. Should be a really nice day, a warm and muggy day. Now, with the active conditions this morning, we didn't get to talk about what happened over the weekend. There was a little earthquake that was felt just up through the bay. It happened Saturday evening around 9 p.m., a 1.6 magnitude earthquake, so just a little rumble in the grand scheme of things, a pretty small earthquake, but this is one of a few that's happened over the last month. You'll remember back in May, there were 2 or 3 that happened just off the coastline, closer to Block Island. So a little bit interesting tidbit for you. This one, again, happening Saturday evening around 9 p.m. Now today, no earthquakes to talk about, just the heavy rain that we had this morning, the thunder, the lightning, and now that is clearing out, a warm, muggy day. Upper 70s and low 80s across most of the area right now, above average for this time of year. Breeze is starting to come in more from the west, about 5 to 15 miles per hour with a few gusts at times this afternoon. And you can see some drier air up to our north. Most of us still have dew points in that 60s range, which leads us to feeling pretty muggy outside. When we get to that 60-degree mark, that's when you start to notice that it is quite muggy. You can see a 70-degree dew point over Martha's Vineyard, so a lot of us feeling muggy this afternoon. But as that breeze continues to come in from the west, the dew points will slowly start to drop, and overnight we'll start to feel more comfortable. This is all behind the system that brought all of that heavy rain and thunderstorm activity overnight, really happening about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, starting in western Rhode Island, gradually pushing east over the course of the morning. And at this point, we're seeing bright conditions with just some fair weather clouds coming through the area, and will stay pretty dry for the coming days. In fact, as we go through things hour by hour, sunshine, just muggy outside for the afternoon, some passing clouds at times. We clear out completely overnight. Dew points start to drop. We feel much more comfortable by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow looks mostly sunny. Highs still in the low 80s range, feeling more comfortable than today. And then into Wednesday, besides a few passing clouds, looks like another really nice day with temperatures in the upper 70s range and low humidity levels. Mid 80s today. Any of that thunderstorm activity, a thing of the past. We are warm. We are muggy with a breeze out of the southwest. The high tide this morning was at about 7:22 a.m. Low tide at about 12:40. So coming up to that in the next half hour or so. Breeze out of the southwest, coming in more from the west as we head through the later part of the afternoon. Visibility much better after we had some dense fog through the morning hours. Partly cloudy, less humid overnight. Temps drop down to the upper 50s. And then tomorrow, a partly to mostly sunny day. Highs still in the 80s range, so above average, feeling less humid after today. Your 7-day forecast shows temps in the 80s for today and for tomorrow. Upper 70s on Wednesday. Thursday, we're in the mid 70s with increasing clouds. Next chance of some scattered rain comes through on Friday. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thanks. Next, Jennifer Hudson makes history, joining an elite list of EGOT winners. In entertainment news, Jennifer Hudson just got her EGOT status. The 40-year-old actress and singer took home her first Tony Award Sunday night. It's the final trophy she needed to complete the EGOT quartet. That's EGOT for Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. The final jewel in her crown is thanks to a Strange Loop, which she produced. It took home Best Musical. Well, it seems like all it took to get Americans back into movie theaters was dinosaurs and fighter jets. Jurassic World Dominion debuted in first over the weekend with $143 million domestically. That's only $5 million shy of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom's pre-pandemic opening. That was 4 years ago. Top Gun Maverick drops to second, but still strong with another $50 million. When we come back, Chelsea has another look at that afternoon forecast. Stay with us. It's like a whole different day out there, Chelsea.
Truly.
Yeah.
So many people writing in that they woke up to all of that thunder. It was so loud this morning. We had torrential rain as well. A lot of puddles and ponding on the roadways. At this point, though, we are drying out. We are brighter. We are warm. We are muggy today with temperatures in the 80s. Now, overnight, the muggy factor starts to go down. Temperatures are still mild in the low 60s range. Tomorrow looks really nice, partly to mostly sunny. Highs still in the 80s, feeling more comfortable. Same thing on Wednesday. Thursday, you'll see clouds increasing. Our next chance of rain will come through overnight Thursday into Friday. You know, we got some rain late last week. We had another round of some torrential rain today. We did need it. We were dealing with moderate drought conditions. I think that drought monitor that comes out on Thursday will show a significant dent in it after quite a bit of rain the last 5 days or so.
Yeah, we certainly cleaned things up a little bit out there with all that rain.
Certainly did.
All right, Chelsea, thanks. And thank you for joining us for the news at noon. The news continues 1st at 4. Have a great day, everybody.